Well, happy December 2020. It's here. I think it's December 4th today. Friday, December 4th, maybe. Want to say thank you to all the subscribers so far. We got up to over 100 subscribers yesterday. Growing by a handful each day, which is good. It's fun. I guess unexpected for some of the videos. But today I want to give a little tour of my wood yard and what we got going on out here in the wood yard. So first start out over here on this portion here. This is the original, I guess you could call it the original wood yard that I had on this property. All it was pallets with T-posts pounded in the ground and then connected by a wire so that if you put wood in there, the T-posts don't spread apart. Let's cover it with tarps, plywood, sheets of steel, you name it. I've covered it. I've got an old rug, actually you can see it right here, an old rubber rug covering up some mesquite I got laying on a pallet here, and there's another rubber rug over there. You got 3 rows. I had 3 rows. Right now I've got 2 rows, and I think that one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces at 8 feet long. This one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could fit 20 face cord in these 2 rows here. And then I had actually one more row over there on the other side of that maple tree. But I took that out because I built some other stacks. I had it right in this spot here. It was kind of a pain to get at because of the trees surrounding it, so I moved it. Whereas these 2 on this side are a little easier because I got this path I can drive right through with the side-by-side or tractor and such. So currently I've got a stack of popple, 1 face cord of popple stacked here, and then a face cord of oak, maple, cherry, just a little mixed bag of hardwoods. And I'll keep stacking more hardwoods, and I got some more popple I need to stack there as well. And once I get to the ash, I'll put some ash over here as well. The issue with these, I find, especially if you're burning it or using it to burn in my house, is in the winter we get 20, 30 inches of snow on top of the stacks, and that's hard to manage pulling the wood out, and then you got some sort of cover over top with wood or steel or a rug or whatever, and then snow on top of that and collapsing, and it's kind of hard to manage. So after a few years of doing that, I decided to do something a little more permanent, and that's where I built these guys. These are 3 rows. Each space on either side of the row holds a face cord. So each row I can have 12 face cord in each row. So overall, these 3 rows I can have 36 face cords split and stacked. This was the first row I built. All it is just a pallet, 2 pallets on the ground, 2 48 by 40 pallets on the ground, 2 pallets on top with just a 4x4 and a 2x4 to get it up to 48 inches tall, and then some painted plywood on top for cover. And the spans have got just 3 2x4 spanning. This was before lumber was obsessively expensive. So same thing on this side, just pallets and 2x4s. This last row I built this last fall, maybe a year ago now, and this is before treated got expensive, and I built it out of just treated 2x4s. Had some galvanized brackets in the corners and a 4x4 across the top, and then 2 regular 2x4s spanning it. Right now I've got most of the gaps filled. I am burning some of the stuff on that first row this year now. And what I do now is I find that I can keep track of when each face quarter has been split and stacked. So I'm gonna take a marker and I mark when this face quarter was split and stacked. See, this is from March 2020. And you can see, try to stack them up to the top and fill it up inside a little bit. And as it dries, you can see it settles, which is kind of interesting to see. You don't see that with like that pile over there, how they settle over time. So you can see these on this side. You know, when I originally stacked it, it was stacked up right tight against this 2x4. And now there's a good 3-4 inches in there. So this stuff I'll burn this year. Most likely this is some oak and birch and elm that I had on the property. This I'll burn. Now we're getting into this intermingled. You can kind of see this stuff is a little more yellow. This oak here, this is stuff I recently split and stacked November 17th. This is going to be burned next year. This is split and stacked to February 2020. And this one we just emptied. We're actively burned that one. Now I'm refilling it already with some oak. And this one is here is one that we are actively pulling from for our current wood pile. And then I got one section that's kind of kindling. There's some pine I split up real small, and then also I got some hardwood cut-offs from a sawmill that I've been cutting into kindling and stacking in here to be used. So that has been I think will be a nice permanent fixture in the wood yard, mainly for my all winter burning. This will be primarily the stash that I use for our house. We got a wood stove in the basement. The other stuff will be used for selling and bundling purposes. So we'll check out the next portion of what we got in the wood yard next. So we got, here is the stack of oak I purchased 13 months ago. It was originally a 12 cord pile of loggers oak, really in the 12 to 20 inch diameter range, logged within a mile of the house here. And slowly pecking at it, and maybe I got half of it cut up and split. And really all this oak is going to be going into those permanent stacks over here. We'll use that for my own our own personal uses, and not really much else. Maybe a sell a face cord or two here and there. But I bought it for my personal burning, and that's what we'll use it for. Next, I mentioned the cut up kindling wood from cut-offs from a sawmill, and this is what we got. This was 2 bundles of hardwood sawed out cut-offs from a local, guess not really a sawmill. They make hardwood flooring and stuff, so, and paneling for cabinets. So I got these 2 bundles. A lot of it's really thin, so I just been kind of just taking that and throwing it in my burn pile, brush pile. But a lot of it's some good, thicker, once you cut it up, kindling wood. So I've been slowly, I hopefully get at a lot of that this winter. I'd hope to bundle some of it up next year and sell it for kindling wood. But with time, I'll get at it. Here's an IBC tote filled with some, as Chris from In the Woodyard would say, cookies, which are pretty much cookies, so yeah, it's a good term for them. So I've got these cookies here. Been giving them to a relative to burn in his outdoor wood boiler. And as we get over on the other side of the garden, 40 by 40 garden over there, I've got pallets and such sitting here waiting to be used. Here's some leftover lumber, a lot of 2x6 cedars from when we tore our deck off the house in 2019. It was an all cedar deck built in the late 80s, and it was just time for replacement, so I replaced it. And luckily I saved all the lumber because I'm using it now. I've got a bunch of 2x10s over there, which were the joists, and then 2x6s over there, which was the decking. Next, we're gonna jump over by where I've been stacking all of the white ash that I purchased this fall. Currently, I'm kind of doing the same thing as those other permanent stacks. I'm building more permanent stacks out of 48 by 40 pallets. And I had some scrap steel that I cut to 4 feet long, and I'm screwed it on top. So these stacks are 12 feet long by 4 feet high, a little more than 4 feet high. And so each row will fit 1 full cord of stacked firewood, stacked white ash, stacked ash. So I'm using the leftover 2x6 decking. Got 3 of them going across there, spanning 12 feet. And so right now I've got currently split, stacked, and covered 3 cord or 9 face cord of this ash. And the goal with this is going to be primarily used for bundled firewood to sell next year to the campground, to people going camping around the area. So I'm planning on, this is kind of the edge of my property, kind of running a line all the way down the edge of these pine trees and keep stacking until I hit this one pine tree where it'll run out of room. And then I may put another row along the back side of this garden here in this area, and maybe some more back there. My goal is this winter to kind of get this whole pile of ash at almost 18 cord delivered, cut and split and stacked, because it's a fast dryer, so the more I have, the more I can sell. So here I've got some ash that I've been working on cutting up this week. A pretty good pile, I don't know, cord and a half in here. And I've got some slots ready to stack it in. Got to get some 2x6s spanned across the top. And I've got another handful of pallets to continue my row and make it longer. Get some more of that white ash stacked and split and stacked. Now lastly, as I get through the whole wood yard here, you can kind of see I've done a big circle. There's our camper. Here's our stack of ash. A little bit of maple, a couple of chunks of birch and yellow birch, white birch and yellow birch mixed in. Here's some white birch. Here's some yellow birch. Might be white birch there, but there's been some yellow birch in here. But mostly ash. And at one point, the stack was about 12 feet tall. The Coyote tractor's been doing awesome getting that wood down. Wish I had a grapple. The grapple would make things way better to kind of grab it, and because otherwise just pallet forks kind of tumble off and makes it a little harder to grab it off. But it makes a world of difference. Instead of cutting it here and hand by hand moving a piece over there, I can just move the entire logs from the pile here over to the stacks and then cut and split it there. But this was an 18 cord or 17 and a half cord load delivered. It was pretty dry. It was stacked for almost 2 years on the wood lot wherever it was stacked at, or maybe it was a year. So that's why, and it's a lighter wood anyway, so they were able to get a lot on their truck just to be legal on the road with as far as weight goes. So slowly we're pecking at this pile. We've got 3 cords split and stacked over there, maybe another 1 or 2 laying on the ground, and we're getting through it. So this was kind of a tour of the wood yard. I guess I can go and show you my little shed here. All it is just a carport. Snowmobiles are in it. Got the wood splitter. And the last part is my little pallet rack that I'm in. When I'm splitting wood, I get the little kindling pieces. So I've been saving that for kindling wood. So slowly getting that filled up and usable for kindling wood. I guess I got one more thing to show. As I said, I was working on those bundles of kindling hardwood, and started a little process with that. It's kind of a slow process. Kindling is slow, but it's nice to have. I've got another pallet bundle or pallet cage, I guess you call it here, and was cutting up with the chop saw, the miter saw, and cutting it to 16 inches long and stacking it in this cage. So this is as much as I'm going to do for right now until I can do it indoors and have a nice miter saw stand, which I'm going to build hopefully this winter sometime. Because otherwise, using just this miter saw stands you can buy at the store, kind of cumbersome. It doesn't stay up there really easily. So otherwise, that's the wood yard. A lot of open area, which is nice, that I can store firewood and keep processing in it. I can't believe I'm actually, you know, I always thought this 36 face cord here was going to be kind of the end all be all, you know, year 1, year 2, year 3 kind of a thing. But started selling bundles, and now look what happened. It's kind of beginning my hoard of firewood, which is fine. It's okay. Firewood is a nice family ritual around the campfire, doing s'mores and eclairs and pudgy pies and such. So it's fun for the kids, fun for the family, good times in the summer while you're camping and doing other things. So again, thank you to all our subscribers. Constant and climbing over the 100 mark now. And if you like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment, do all those fun things as everybody else says, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.